A survivor, huh?
If we leave it here, it'll surely go back and try to attack Halura again. But Halura has the barrier protecting it now.
Even so, how are the people of Halura supposed to sleep at night when beasts like this crawling around just outside the barrier?
Hi folks, Fuzz here, and I'm very much enjoying my very first playthrough of Tales of Vesperia, and indeed my very first game of the Tales series, having never experienced the franchise before now. But just before we go any further, I would love to give a shout out to our latest two members of the channel, so thank you very much to Isaiah and also to Wes for signing up as YouTube channel members. Your support is very much appreciated, and it's great to have you on board. And what I wanted to share with you today was this clip from the last live stream I've just completed, where we took on this boss known as Gattuso, I think is how you pronounce it, or something along those lines. I'm terrible when it comes to names from JRPGs, I really am. But anyway, it was a fun fight, and I wasn't actually planning on killing this creature on this attempt. As a matter of fact, I only started this battle to see, you know, to get an idea of what the boss was going to be all about. We just saved our game before going into this, and I expected to get killed pretty quickly and then spend some time grinding, levelling up our party before actually tackling it as a serious attempt. But as you can see, and are about to see in this video, that didn't need to be the case because we actually killed it on this first attempt. Now, I went into this fight quite under-levelled. This boss is level 20. My party was about level 14/level 15, and it wasn't even fully healed up when I went into the fight. We had, you know, very little in the way of TP, and our health totals were damaged. And as a matter of fact, as you can see, we did lose two party members very, very quickly. And to be honest, I thought, yeah, I can see this is going to be a challenging encounter. I almost actually quit the game at that point. I thought, right, I've seen enough. Let's start levelling up, get our party ready for the challenge ahead. But I thought, hey, for the fun of it, let's just continue on and, you know, not make a serious attempt out of it, but just try and resurrect these folks and see what we can do. What's the best we can do at this kind of level. And to my surprise, yeah, we ended up killing him. And not only did we end up killing the boss here, but I also managed to get the secret mission completed. This is secret mission number 3. And I'm surprised about that, because I don't actually know how I did it. I know what the secret mission is, but I didn't plan on doing it. It kind of just happened by accident. And it is actually quite a challenging secret mission, so I'm quite chuffed that we had a bit of luck there, that we were able to go ahead and complete it, as well as kill the boss, as well as actually use magic lens on the boss. So there was really no need to actually go back, reload the game in order to do this again. Before we go any further, I should just give a massive thanks to live stream chat as well, because it was all the strategies and tips that were shared there, and some of those I'm going to be sharing with you now, that really, you know, meant that I was able to complete this boss encounter during this first attempt here. I expected a whole lot of failure, but thanks to chat we were able to force our way through it. The first thing I want to note then is how to complete the secret mission. So I actually got this, as I mentioned, pretty much as a stroke of luck. I didn't really plan to get it, it just kind of happened. But the way it works, the way I believe it works anyway, is you've got these plants that are scattered all over the place. And basically, when they're active, they will cause a kind of stun/poison thingy that puts the character into a state where they can't move for a few seconds. But you can actually get that to occur on the boss. So what you want to do is position the boss so as to use a ranged attack on one of those plants so that the person casting it doesn't get affected by it, and get it to hit the boss, and that will stun him and you'll complete the secret mission. It can be a bit of a pain, but it is possible. So before doing any of that though, you're better off killing the two adds that start with the boss itself. And the adds themselves do hit quite hard, so the sooner you can kill those, then the sooner you can really focus on taking down that boss without fear of taking too much damage. But you will still be taking a lot of damage, even when just facing the boss alone. Right, so the first thing to note is that the boss can go into over limit mode, and he does a lot of damage when he does this. So what I recommend is try and keep everybody at ranged distance from him, especially the character that you're controlling generally at melee range. So as soon as you see it go into over limit mode, try and get into range so that you can avoid all that damage until it goes back to normal. And in terms of your attacks, you're going to want to attack it mostly from behind, since its mouth does have a nasty bite attack, which is going to kill your party members very quickly if it's allowed to actually hit them. And as you can see, it has that nasty charge as well, which you don't really want to be in the path of. So actually going into this fight, I'd recommend having a lot of life bottles and a lot of healing items, because you are, if anything like me anyway, going to be resurrecting your party members on a regular interval, since they do tend to die, at least at the level I was fighting this guy at. Maybe if you are leveled to say 18 to 20, you'll be resurrecting slightly less often, but seeing as how that wasn't the case for me, those life bottles were very, very useful indeed. So what I would recommend, this was a tip from chat and it actually helped out a lot for me, is to go to the art menu and just make sure you disable arts on certain party members that you would prefer to be healing. Estelle, for example, is really going to want to focus on casting first aid and her buffs. So any of her damaging arts, you might as well just disable those straight from the get-go. Okay, get them out of there. You might even consider doing that for whoever else you're using that can cast healing, such as Carol, for example. He has a healing ability, but I didn't do that for Carol. In the end, I decided to keep him on attack as well. But also, the other thing to note was a tip that I got from chat, and this helped, is to go to Rita's Rita's arts, and disable everything except Fireball. The reason for that is this boss is susceptible to fire attacks. Fire is his weakness, and if you can have Rita just spamming Fireball and making the most of her TP in that fashion, then you're actually going to be doing a lot more damage to him than if you had all of her damaging arts enabled. So that's something you're probably going to want to do as well. As I previously mentioned, this boss does hit like a truck. He really, really, really does hit like a freight train. So in order to try and mitigate some of that damage, you might want to control the arts of Rita and have her cast Barrier, which is one of the arts that, or spells or something that she has. You can access it from the arts menu. And cast that on any of your melee fighters, such as Yuri and on Carol. And that will just reduce the amount of damage that they take from that ability, or from those physical attacks rather. But just bear in mind that that buff doesn't last too long, so you might want to keep recasting that as you see it wear off. Once you have cast it, it will put a little icon on the portrait of the character you've cast it on, so you can just note when it does actually disperse from that character. Don't forget as well, you will want to cast Magic Lens. Now, you don't have to cast Magic Lens immediately on the ads here. You will be able to fight that exact same enemy type before the end of the dungeon, without the boss involved. But I did so anyway, just for the sake of, you know, the fact that I wanted to get it done. But it is very important that you do cast Magic Lens on the boss, since if you do want to complete the scans across all the enemies for the trophy, etc., then you will need to make sure that you don't forget to do that. Other than that, it really is just a case of staying on top of healing. Try and stay, you know, at range, as I say, from some of the boss's more damaging attacks, i.e. when it goes into over limit mode. And I don't really think level is all that important if you can, you know, just stay on top of the fight. If everybody starts dying, which could happen, it never really happened to me that more than 2 party members were dead at any one time. But obviously, once he starts dropping them, he does tend to move on to the next one quite quickly. So if you lose too many, it probably is going to be a game over at that point. But just chalk that up to bad luck and reload and try again. But yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to share with you guys. So I'm going to let the rest of the fight play out here. You can see how it all ended up working out for us, which was something that I was very chuffed about, as I mentioned. But thanks to all those of you that are supporting me with this Tales of Vesperia series. This is, as I say, the very first time I played any of the Tales games. I'm really enjoying it. I'm probably going to be getting into the franchise as we go ahead and, you know, work our way through this game and complete it. I'll probably be looking at moving on to something else from the series after that. So any, you know, advice or recommendations of where I should go to next, then please do share that in the comment section. And if you're able to join us on any of the live streams, I do tend to, at the moment, stream this game 2:30 PM UK time in the afternoon, and at times as well in the evening. But that's it for me for today then, guys. Thanks for checking out the video. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you all soon for more Tales of Vesperia. Goodbye.
well?
I don't know.